Hey everybody, have you ever heard that saying, money can't buy happiness? Well, guess what? It's complete malarkey. Who invented that saying anyway? And what planet were they living on? Now, of course, having more money will not magically transform a bitter, unhappy person into a happy person, but having money does give us a better chance of becoming happy. And let me tell you why. Years ago, John Stossel, an investigative reporter for ABC, conducted research into this very question, and these were his findings. He discovered that people who struggle on a daily basis to survive, that is, they struggle to put food on the table, clothes for the family, and a roof over their head, are the least happy people of all. Why? Because for them, life is a daily struggle. It's a daily grind. His research also revealed that after the basic necessities of life have been covered, just having more money does not equal more happiness. In other words, once a certain baseline of money has been achieved so that your needs are met, you're comfortable, somewhat independent, and you have a little bit of disposable income to pursue recreation and pleasure, just getting richer will not necessarily make you happier. Or in other words, this is the sweet spot. Right there is the sweet spot. Now, for me personally, I don't need more money so that I can live an extravagant lifestyle, have servants and take bubble baths all the time. Being pampered like that sounds horrifying to me. It sounds like the life of a toddler. And yet, on the other hand, I too need a certain baseline of money so that I can live and be comfortable, have my needs met, and have a little bit of disposable income for recreation and pleasure without having to worry about making ends meet all the time. For most people, the things that give us the most stress on a day-by-day basis are almost always things that can be greatly improved or completely resolved by simply having more money. So today in this video, I want to debunk the idea that money can't buy happiness, because up to a point it can. And by the way, for those of you who are seeing me for the first time, my name is Ronnie. And this channel is dedicated to helping people who are over 50 years old, especially in areas of health, finance, and retirement. And my message here is simple. The best investment that you can make is in yourself. So if you think that you'll like the content here, be sure to hit that thumbs up button that you'll find down below, and feel free to subscribe. It'll help me out. So here's 4 areas of our lives that I think money can turn things around. Number 1, having a home for comfort and safety. Now, in order to have a place to live, you need money. Whether you rent or whether you own, or whatever your situation is, everyone needs money to have a roof over their head, right? But the amount of money that you have directly affects the quality of your living conditions. For instance, on one extreme over here, you have people who can't afford anywhere to live. The lack of money decides if they're homeless or not. And then there are people who are stuck in unhappy living conditions, but they can't get out because of a lack of money. This might mean being stuck with an abusive spouse. It might mean living with a roommate that you can't get along with. It might mean being stuck in a filthy apartment or having to live in a dangerous neighborhood. It might mean living in a place that's infested with cockroaches and ants and rats, and there's no air conditioning and no privacy. For a lot of people, this is all that they can afford. And so no one can tell me that people living in those kind of situations wouldn't be happier if they had more money and could afford a better place to live. Of course they would be happier. Number 2, let's talk about health. How that money can turn things around for us and make us happier. I don't need to tell you that healthcare costs are astronomical. If you're fortunate enough to be able to afford health insurance, it can cost hundreds of dollars a month, if not more. In fact, my wife and I were paying $23,000 a year for health insurance up until the point I got on Medicare. And even if you can afford health insurance, many people still can't still cannot use their health insurance because of the high deductibles or copays. And then there's people who don't have enough money to even have insurance, and they can't afford to get their teeth fixed or get dental work done. They can't afford to go back to the doctor and get their eye prescription updated for a new pair of glasses, and they can't even get basic medicine. Sometimes people even have to ration their insulin because they can't afford to use it in the prescribed manner. So you just can't tell me that people living in these kind of situations wouldn't be happier if they had more money to resolve these kind of health issues, because of course they would be happier. And then let's talk about food and its relation to our health. People who don't have enough money to buy quality food will often buy cheap, inferior food that makes them sick. In fact, there are neighborhoods in America in which there are no grocery stores. These are called food deserts. There's not a grocery store for miles around, but what you will find lining the streets are fast food joints. And these kind of foods make people sick. Inflammatory foods are laden with chemicals and they cause diseases. And then these very same people can't afford to go to the doctor because the healthcare costs are too high. And it becomes a vicious cycle that grinds people into desperation. And of course, money would turn things around for these people. They could eat better, they could buy better quality food, and they could afford to get basic healthcare costs covered. And yes, money can buy a certain measure of happiness. Number 3, let's talk about recreation. Recreation is important to our happiness. Now, obviously, you don't have to spend a lot of money to have fun, but having money gives you margin in your life and in your schedule so that you can take time off from work from time to time and spend your time doing whatever you want. People who struggle to make ends meet on a daily basis cannot even afford to take off work. And if you can afford to take off work for recreation, this might mean having certain hobbies and having the money to invest into them, such as musical instruments or art supplies, gardening tools, fishing equipment, gym membership, or whatever. Or maybe even just the ability to take annual vacations, things that many people can't afford. These kind of things improve the quality of your life. And of course, it takes a certain amount of money to be able to pursue them. Now, of course, you can still be a happy person without eating in expensive restaurants all the time or enjoying a $50 bottle of wine. Those things are not necessary to your survival, but having options is liberating. Having the ability to decide for yourself whether or not you want to do those things, instead of being automatically excluded from them because of a lack of money, really affects a person's overall well-being. So recreation is important for us. And then number 4, money gives us the ability to say no and have more control over our own lives. Money may not be able to buy happiness in and of itself, but it does buy you a ticket to get away from the things that are making you unhappy. And that is huge. For instance, having an emergency fund or a big pile of forget you money gives you the ability to leave a job that you hate or get out of an abusive relationship. Money gives you the ability to decide how you want to spend your time. It gives you the ability to take risks with fewer consequences because you have something to fall back on should the plan go south. When your back is against the wall in a job you hate and you don't have money to get out, you lose the ability to say no and be in control of your own life. Having money gives you options. It gives you a ticket to get away from the very things that are making you unhappy. And so you just can't tell me that money doesn't buy happiness, because it does. This is a luxury that not everyone has. Money turns emergencies into inconveniences. Money means you can get your dental work done. Money means that you can take your pets to the veterinarian and afford to be able to get the treatment. Money means that you can get your car fixed, you can get your air conditioner fixed, and you can put a new set of tires on your car for your safety and that of your family. And when you get older, money is important for the quality of your life as well as your own independence. Money is like oxygen. If you have enough, you don't think about it very often. And if you don't have enough, it's the only thing you can think about. When people say money can't buy happiness, I think to myself, okay, but poverty can't buy anything. So that's my take on the situation. And let me encourage you to think differently about this matter of whether or not money can buy happiness. If you find yourself below the baseline, find ways to increase your income and strive to dig yourself out, because it can be done, and yes, you can do it. And if you are above that certain baseline, just remember this: you're probably in that sweet spot right now. So instead of striving to get richer and richer, just enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. Live your life and take full advantage of every minute that you have available. Now, of course, these are just my thoughts and my opinions, and I certainly don't have a corner on all the truth. But I'd like to know what your thoughts are, so drop me a comment down below and let me know what your insights are. If you've liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and feel free to subscribe. Take care, and we'll see you next time.